Most people think brain power is something you're born with. Either you're sharp or you're not. But that belief is outdated. Your brain isn't a fixed processor. It's a living system that adapts to how you use it. Just like muscles respond to resistance, your mind grows stronger when it's challenged in the right way. The problem is that most modern life does the opposite. Algorithms think for us, apps remember everything for us, screens remove friction. So today, instead of vague advice like meditate more or get better sleep, we're going to look at practical mental challenges that actively force your brain to work harder and smarter. Not hacks, not gimmicks, actual cognitive stressors that rewire how your brain processes information. Let's start with something deceptively simple. 1. Train your attention, not your intelligence. Attention is the gateway to all thinking. If you can't control what you focus on, it doesn't matter how smart you are. Your brain power leaks everywhere. One powerful way to train attention is by forcing your eyes and mind to work together under time pressure. Imagine a grid filled with numbers scattered randomly. Your task isn't to think deeply, it's to scan efficiently, suppress distractions, and stay locked in until the task is complete. This kind of exercise strengthens visual focus, information processing speed, mental endurance. What matters isn't how fast you finish at first, it's consistency. The brain improves when it's repeatedly placed under manageable stress. 2. Confuse your brain on purpose. Your brain loves shortcuts. It automates anything it can. That's efficient, but it also makes your thinking rigid. One way to break that rigidity is by creating controlled confusion. For example, when your brain sees a word, it wants to read it automatically. When it sees a color, it wants to identify it automatically. Forcing it to override those instincts creates cognitive friction. That friction strengthens cognitive flexibility, inhibitory control, mental agility. This is the same mental muscle you use when switching tasks, resisting distractions, or thinking under pressure. The goal isn't comfort. The goal is adaptation. 3. Remove a sense to strengthen the other. Vision dominates how we experience the world. So what happens when you temporarily take it away? When you perform simple tasks without sight, writing, drawing, navigating space, your brain is forced to compensate. It recruits areas responsible for spatial awareness, memory, and internal mapping. This improves spatial intelligence, memory recall, internal visualization. You're teaching your brain to rely less on external cues and more on internal models. That's a powerful upgrade in a world that constantly overstimulates the eyes. 4. Cross the wires between brain and body. Your brain and body aren't separate systems, they're deeply integrated. Tasks that require unusual coordination force both hemispheres of the brain to communicate more intensely. When you perform opposing movements simultaneously, especially ones your body isn't used to, your brain can't fall back on autopilot. It has to plan, adjust, correct in real time. This strengthens neural communication and improves reaction speed, coordination, and mental control. It's not about physical strength. It's about neurological synchronization. 5. Disrupt your dominant patterns. Your dominant hand does most of the work. Your brain has optimized it for efficiency. But efficiency isn't growth. When you switch routine tasks to your non-dominant hand, your brain has to rebuild the motor plan from scratch. That creates new neural pathways, increased cortical activation, better mind-body awareness. The task feels awkward because your brain is learning again. That discomfort is the signal that change is happening. 6. Choose games that fight back. Not all games are created equal. Some reward repetition. Others reward thinking. The best mental games are the ones that punish sloppy decisions, require pattern recognition, force long-term planning. Games like chess, logic puzzles, number problems, and word challenges engage executive functions, the same systems used for decision-making and problem-solving in real life. The key is resistance. If a game doesn't force you to slow down and think, it's entertainment, not training. 7. Stop outsourcing your brain. This might be the most important one. Modern tools are incredible, but over-reliance weakens mental capacity. When you always save instead of remember, calculate instead of estimate, write lists instead of recall, you train your brain to do less. Occasionally forcing yourself to remember, calculate, or plan mentally keeps your memory systems active. This isn't about rejecting technology. It's about using your brain first, tools second. The brain you don't use slowly gives up responsibility. Final thought. Your brain isn't fragile, it's adaptive. But adaptation depends on demand. If your life removes friction, your thinking becomes softer. If your habits challenge your mind, clarity follows. Mental sharpness isn't a trait. It's a byproduct of how you live. Train your brain the way you train your body, with intention, resistance, and consistency.